It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Angel Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Angels. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday night to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers and Angels in their second game of this series, and the Angels have already beaten the Dodgers 3 out of 4. The Angels, meanwhile, coming alive against the National League West. They're 9-1 against the National League, and they have been on a roll of 7 straight against Western teams, sweeping San Diego, doing the same thing to the Giants, and then beating the Dodgers last night. For the Dodgers, somewhat on cruise control. They're 5-5 against the American League. They still hold a very comfortable 8-game lead over San Francisco. And for the Angels, at one time 4.5 games back of Texas, but because of their 7-game winning streak, they're now just a half a game behind the Rangers. Tonight, the brothers Weaver, and there'll be a lot written about it, there'll be a lot said about it, and the ball game coming up right after this. Dodger Baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by the Portobello Mushroom $6 Burger back at Carl's Jr. More than just a piece of meat. By Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And by Southwest Airlines, ready when you are. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on.
This is something that you never expect to happen, but couldn't happen in a better place here in Southern California, and with the Dodger-Angel rivalry, and being able to share it with our parents, our family, and friends. It's a great scenario.
It's one of those things that haven't really set in yet. It's we never had a chance to battle against each other growing up, so I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. Like we said, like Jeff said, in front of it couldn't happen in a better spot. Us both growing up here in Southern California, and him playing with the Dodgers and me with the Angels. It's gonna be fun.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday night to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Angel Stadium. The June gloom has moved away. We have some blue skies overhead and the prospects of another very good ball game with the added interest of the Weaver family. Jeff and Jared, the brothers, going head-to-head. Mom and Dad are here, Gail and Dave, and Gail is wearing a uniform that says Angers, combining the A-N with D-G-E-R-S. Dad is wearing one that says Dodgels, D-O-G-E-L-S. And so you can understand the feelings of two very proud people, the parents of the Weaver boys. And we were speculating last night, they probably hope for a scoreless tie and each pitcher going out for a pinch hitter. In tonight's game, we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in the game raises $18,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by calling 800-798-CURE or 798-2873. Either way. Meanwhile, young Jared Weaver is out there on the mound, and we'll take a look at the Dodger lineup to test him. Juan Pierre, Rafael Furcal, and Orlando Hudson, James Loney and Casey Blake and Andre Ethier. Mark Loretta is the DH instead of Mitch Jones. Russell Martin bats 8th, and Matt Kemp with a .310 batting average with 8 home runs and 37 runs batted in. Matt Kemp hits 9th tonight in the Dodger lineup. On the mound, the first part of the show, Jared Weaver. He is bigger than his brother. He is 6'7". His brother, Jeff, is 6'5". Jeff is 220, and Jared is 210. Jared will be 27 in October, and Jeff will be 33 in August. They've always had a 6-year difference, which really kept them in separate worlds. At one time, however, when Jeff had signed over the winter as a free agent with the Angels back in 2006, Jared was emerging as a top prospect, and in 2006, Jeff was really struggling. Jared, meanwhile, was coming into his own, and so Jeff went over to St. Louis and wound up pitching a club into a World Series. So we'll see what happens tonight. Juan Pierre will lead it off, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. So Pierre, Furcal, and Hudson in that order. Pierre hitting .327, 22 runs batted in. He had 1 hit in 5 at-bats last night. Jared Weaver, broad-shouldered at 6'7", comes right back over the top with a curveball lifted to left field reasonably deep. Rivera goes back and makes the catch. So 1 away. And the batter now would be Rafael Furcal. Here are the Angels defensively. You have Rivera, Hunter, and Abreu. Figgins, Ibar, Torres, and Morales. And the battery of Weaver and Mathis. Now the batter will be Rafael Furcal. Rafael in last night's game had a 2-run home run, a single, on a walk. Wasn't enough, however, as the Dodgers involved in yet another 1-run game. Furcal hitting .248 and takes a breaking ball strike. Jared Weaver is 5-0 at home this year, 2-2 on the road. The opposition is hitting a mere .203, and he is coming off a complete game shutout as Furcal fouls one away. The complete game shutout was against San Diego. Jared Weaver against the Dodgers is 3-1 lifetime, an earned run average of 1.5, and lost a no-hitter. Remember last year, Jared ready and delivers and bounces a curveball. He had a no-hitter for 6, but went out for a pinch hitter in the 7th. What happened was Matt Kemp squirted one up along first. Weaver unable to handle it for an error in the 5th inning, and eventually Kemp stole second and worked his way around on the throw to center by Mathis and scored on a fly ball. The ground ball to shortstop Ibar to take care of Furcal, and just like that, 2 down. So Weaver, Jared Weaver that is, went 6 innings for no hits. Arredondo pitched the 7th and the 8th, and the Angels lost the game on the error, the fly ball, etc., to Messrs. Billingsley, Broxton, and Saito. By the way, back then in June, the Dodgers shut the Angels out at Dodger Stadium in back-to-back games. So here now is Orlando Hudson hitting .318. Orlando last night had 2 doubles and a single, and takes a look at his strike, and the count 0-1. Dodgers with that marvelous 1-run record at home. They're 13-2, but not so much on the road. They are 3-5 in 1-run games away from Dodger Stadium. So overall, 16-7. Hudson waiting, 2 down, and the next pitch is a little low. Angels have beaten the Dodgers 3 out of 4. Dodgers have split 10 against the American League. They've not had a winning record against the American League since 2004 when they were 10-8. Hudson takes a strike. 1-2 the count to Orlando Hudson. 2 down, 1st inning, no score, just starting. Jared Weaver back with a fastball at the shoelaces, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. There have been siblings going against each other. 8th time to see them start. The last time the Bennis boys a couple of years ago. But other sports have produced siblings. You know, tennis, for instance, the Williams sisters. And even in basketball this year, the pitch to Orlando, strike 3 called. Pau Gasol played against his brother Marcus. So you had brothers then. And there have been brothers going head-to-head in car racing as well. Dodgers are done at the end of half an inning, no score. Jared Weaver sets the Dodgers down in order with a strikeout, a ground ball, and a fly ball. Now we go to the bottom of the 1st inning, and we'll take a look at the Angel lineup with Sean Figgins leading off, followed by Bobby Abreu, Torrey Hunter, and Vladimir Guerrero. Last night's hero, Juan Rivera, will be backed up by Kendry Morales. Maicia Torres at second base, Jeff Mathis behind the plate, and Eric Ibar bats 9th and plays shortstop. On the mound for the Dodgers, Jeff Weaver, making his first starts in the 20th of May because Eric Stultz couldn't answer the bell, and Eric Milton is still not eligible. So for Jeff Weaver with a record of 3-1, first start since the 20th of May, and going to work now against Sean Figgins. Jeff from a stretch. Big right-hander ready and deals. Fastball, and that's off the plate. Ball one. Figgins last night had a walk, single, and double, and scored a run. Dodgers having a bad time here in Anaheim. They've lost 19 of the last 24 played here. Trying to turn it around against probably the best pitcher that the Angels have in Jared Weaver. Jeff at the belt. Ready now and deals, and Figgins lines it to left field, sinking for a base hit in front of Juan Pierre. So Figgins continues to give the Dodgers a bad time with a leadoff single, and the batter will be the very talented Bobby Abreu. Figgins, as he stands over at first base, has stolen 22 out of 29, but Mike Scioscia might very well want to keep Loney on the bag with a left-hand hitter like Abreu. Abreu has hit safely in 11 of the last 14 and has been very, very consistent, as he has been throughout his career. 18 RBIs in his last 18 games. So Bobby hitting 300, 3 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Jeff Weaver out of a stretch and deals, and the fastball is low. Ball one. Jeff 6'5", 220, 33 in August. Working on Bobby Abreu, who is 35 years old. Abreu originally signed by the Astros 19, almost 20 years ago. Jeff ready over the top, and this one is in for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Talking about siblings, and we mentioned the Williams sisters and Paul Gasol and his brother. There are also the Niedermeyers in hockey, going all the way back to 2003. So there have been quite a few happy families producing big-time athletes. Weaver ready. There goes Figgins, and it's fouled away. And, of course, who could forget just this past football season, Peyton Manning going head-to-head with Eli Manning. So it happened. But if you wanted to go back through the books and just listen to some of the names of some of the families, the Weavers, the Bennesses, Ramon and Pedro Martinez, Greg and Mike Maddox, Joe and Phil Necro, they met each other, I think it was 9 times. Jim and Gaylord Perry. So there's been a lot of them. Jeff out of a stretch. Figgins holds, and the pitch, a good save by Martin. It was right down at Abreu's feet. And the count runs to 2 balls and 2 strikes. In interleague wins, you have 2 very successful managers going head-to-head. Joe Torre, despite losing last night, has won 123 times in interleague play. Mike Scioscia, adding 1 last night, has now won 103. Figgins back at first. Jeff Weaver set, turns, throws over there, and throws it away. And it goes down the right field line. Figgins takes 1 look at where Ethier is and easily goes to third. So Sean Figgins, in the attempt to pick him off, Jeff Weaver throws it away for the error. And just like that, the Angels have a runner at third and nobody out. And Abreu, Hunter, and Guerrero trying to pick him up. So Figgins at third. Jeff Weaver now with the infield back. And Abreu waiting at the plate with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Jeff leans in to get a sign. Now the big fella ready, straightens up, looks over at Figgins. Short lead coming down from third. And Abreu promptly bangs it into right center, base hit. Up with it is Ethier to hold it for a single. Figgins comes in, and just like that, the Angels take a 1-0 lead. Although certainly the Dodgers don't hope it happens, the last time that you had brothers pitch against each other were the Bennis boys, 35-year-old Andy and his 30-year-old brother Alan. But that was an 11-2 victory for Andy, and Allen was knocked out in the 3rd inning, allowing 8 runs and 7 hits. So Jeff Weaver gives up 2 singles, his own error for a run, and now the batter is Torrey Hunter. More pressure with Abreu over there at first base, and immediately a throw over. Abreu is brilliant in every area, And with everything else that he does so well, he has stolen 15 out of 16. So Abreu at first, having just knocked in the run. 1-0 Angels, and Torrey Hunter checking in. And the first pitch to Torrey, right-hand hitter, he takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Hunter hitting .321, 16 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Beautiful evening, 71 degrees at the start of the game. Jeff Weaver straightens up, set at the belt, a backward glance at Abreu. They pitch out, and the pitch out almost was over the plate. It wound up on the gloved side of his catcher, and Martin was able to stay with it. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And again, you have to marvel of what Gail and Dave are going through, watching their sons battle it out. Jeff is off the rubber. Torrey Hunter with 8 gold gloves and a very valuable bat out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Grew up in a very bad neighborhood, and I guess in some ways you could say baseball saved his life. Jeff Weaver set, looks over at Abreu over his left shoulder. Abreu goes. The pitch is low. The throw is on the money to nail him. Perfect throw by Russell Martin. Now, that's only the second time this year that Bobby Abreu has been caught, and it was perfect. As soon as the ball left Martin's hand, you knew it was going to arrive way before Abreu. In the stands, Gail and Dave now rooting for Jeff to get out of the inning, so they're happy about that. And I'm sure their hearts beat all night long in this one. 2-1 count, and Torrey fouls it away. So we have a 2-ball, 2-strike count. If you joined us a little late, Sean Figgins single to left. A pickup throw by Jeff Weaver got away down the right field line. Figgins taking third, and then Bobby Abreu cashed him in with a single to right. Now Abreu's been thrown out, and Hunter waiting. And Jeff Weaver deals. Fastball swung on and missed, and that takes care of Torrey Hunter. 2 down in the first inning, and the batter will be Vladimir Guerrero. Fastball with some sink to it around the knees. So Jeff Weaver, by the way, is 5-8 lifetime against his old club. The last time he faced the Angels, September of '07, he was with the Mariners then, and he lost 7-4. He's also been very effective against the Angels. His career high of strikeouts, 12, and he did it here 9 years ago, but not tonight as Guerrero singles sharply to right. So Jeff Weaver has given up 3 singles in the inning. So far, 1 run. And of course, by nailing Abreu, that put not the skids, but at least it slows down the inning as Juan Rivera comes up. Rivera was the hero last night, if you remember. Led off the 8th inning with a home run. It was a great at-bat. It was a 9-pitch at-bat. Rivera fouled off a half a dozen from Mota. As he was saying after the game, he got the whole score. Fastball, breaking balls, change, kept trying to adjust, and finally hit one out. So Rivera waiting at the plate, right-hand batter. Jeff Weaver ready and delivers and gets it in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Juan Rivera in the American League is known for the fact that he makes contact. He's the 9th hardest to fan in the league, and certainly showed that last night when he fouled off 6. So Rivera waiting. Guerrero at first with 2 down, and the breaking ball is in for a strike. Juan Rivera with 10 home runs, 36 runs batted in, batting .316. Jeff Weaver in a rough inning, 3 hits, his own error, 1 run, and trying to get out of it cheaply enough by striking out Hunter and concentrating on Rivera. Guerrero takes a pretty good lead. There he goes. Slow curveball, and the throw is late. I'm amazed that Jeff Weaver didn't throw over to first base, because Vladimir Guerrero really took a good lead, told everybody in the ballpark, I think, that he was going to run. It was way beyond the point, And even though Martin made a good throw, Guerrero was in there with his second stolen base of the year. The pitch down and away to Rivera, and the count 1-2 strikes. So the Angels, having beaten the National League 9 out of 10, leading 1-0 in the first inning today. Jeff Weaver's fastball is fouled into the stands off to the right. Another nice crowd behind, may or may not be as big as last night. Does not appear that to the eye. Last night, 44,222, and they'll be going after each other tomorrow night. That will be Clayton Kershaw and John Lackey. 1-2, the count to Juan Rivera. Jeff Weaver straightens up, looks at Vladimir at second base. Now the right-hander sidearm fastball is in there. Strike 3 called, and that's that. So when it's all said and done, Mom and Dad a sigh of relief. Jeff is touched for 1 run, 3 hits plus his own error, and at the end of 1-0 Angels. Jeff Weaver makes 18 pitches, commits a pickoff throwing attempt for an error, and the Angels capitalize for a run. Now the Dodgers will have James Loney, Casey Blake, and Andre Ethier against his younger brother, Jared Weaver. By the way, over the years, 21 times brothers have gone head-to-head. The teams of older brothers are a little bit better. They have won 11, and the younger brother has won 9. The first pitch to Loney, down and in, ball 1, 1-0. We were talking earlier, too, as Loney waits at the plate, hitting .281, 3 home runs, 45 runs batted in, and James hit one over that 18-foot high wall in right center for his 3rd home run of the year last night. That was in the 4th inning. So Loney waiting, 2 balls and no strikes. Jared Weaver into the windup and over the top with a fastball strike. We were also trying to remember the name of brothers, and they are heavyweight fighters in Russia, Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko. But they have vowed that they would never fight each other, which is not a bad idea. I mean, it's okay to play tennis or pitch against each other, but it would be awful to be trading punches. Although I'm sure brothers being brothers, Jeff and Jared probably came close to that a couple of times. The pitch to Loney is slapped foul off third, down the line, out of play. Angels lead 1-0, and we're in the 2nd inning, just really starting up. Jared Weaver, we mentioned earlier, lost a no-hitter on his own error in June of last year to the Dodgers. Jared ready, back with a fastball, and that's whacked to right field on the run, and under it just about now is Abreu to make the catch. It's 3:30 down the line, and Bobby just about hit the warning track when he made the catch. So Loney, fly ball to deep right, 1 away, and Casey Blake coming up. So Loney takes a seat on the pine, and here's Casey. Blake was involved in 2 remarkable plays last night. One resulted in a double play. Casey takes ball 1. He had to charge a slow roller, made a bare hand pickup, threw to Loney for the out. Figgins, who had been at second, tried to go to third. Loney threw across the diamond to Rafael Furcal to get Figgins at third. And if that wasn't enough, with the bases loaded and 2 out, Casey Blake, chasing a foul ball, made an incredible catch of a ball hit by Eric Ibar to bail the Dodgers out. Now he lines it right at Morales. So Casey Blake hits it hard, but a line drive to Kendry Morales, and we have 2 down here in the 2nd inning. And the batter coming up will be Andre Ethier. 1-0 in favor of the Angels. Going back since 2002, the Angels have really worn the Dodgers out. And here they've beaten them 8 out of 9, 11 out of 13, and 19 of 24. And when you talk to Joe Torre about it, Joe Torre doesn't have the answer. He's as perplexed as anybody else. Ethier takes a strike. Joe was saying, and I couldn't beat them when I was with the Yankees. And when you look at Joe's record, The one team against whom he had a losing record was Mike Scioscia's Angels. Ethier, fly ball to left center. Torrey Hunter, a late start, but he comes up and makes the catch. And the Dodgers are gone. 1-2-3. Jared Weaver has retired 6 in a row. And at the end of an inning and a half, 1-0 Angels. The Angels lead the Dodgers 1-0. A little angel in mom's lap looking up moments ago at, I would assume, her big brother. What a beautiful picture that is. Family at the ballpark, and hope you'll include your family the next trip to Dodger Stadium, which will start Friday night. The team will go to Chicago during the week, and then they'll come home to play Ichiro, Ichiban, and Seattle, followed by a blazing hot Colorado club with Jim Tracy at the wheel. Bottom of the second, and Kendry Morales starts it off. Weaver out of a stretch. Jeff delivers, and the breaking ball stays up. Ball 1-0. Everybody talked about Juan Rivera's at bat last night, but when the game was over, Mike Scioscia was talking about Kendry Morales' bat in the 6th inning last night when he fouled off a bunch, drew a walk. This time he hits a high drive into deep right. Ethier looking up. It is gone. And the Angels take a 2-0 lead. So Jeff Weaver has given up 3 singles and a home run. He takes a long walk on the grass out near second base to try and collect himself, as Morales hit a breaking ball that was up and out over the plate. Bad pitch. And Kendry trots around, brings it in, and for Morales, his 11th home run, 35 runs batted in. The Angels have been on a home run hitting tear of late, and it has certainly popped up during this series as Izturis checks in, and Messier takes off the plate. Ball 1-0. Even though the Angels are the only team in the major leagues without a grand slam, in the last 8 games they've hit 17 home runs. High fly ball to right field. Ethier racing to the line, foul ground, and it's going to drop untouched. So Izturis, on his way to second, will have to come back. So prior to tonight, in the last 7 games, the Angels were averaging better than 7 runs a game. In the last 7, they had 16 home runs, and they had only 9 in the previous 14. So the Angels coming alive and really jumping all over the National League West. So it's 2-0 Angels, and Izturis back up to hit. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeff Weaver out of a stretch, set at the belt. Right-handed deals, and the pitch is popped up on the right side. It'll be Orlando Hudson backing out on the grass and makes the catch for the first out. 1 away. It certainly would be no surprise if Jared Weaver bested Jeff Weaver, only in the sense you look at the age, you look at where one is in his career, really just arriving and heading for an all-star game, and the other fella at 33, kind of resurrected from the wreckage of past problems. And of course, Jeff also knows the good times as well. And here now is Jeff Mathis. First ball swinging, pop fly for calling, makes the catch, and quickly we have 2 out here in the 2nd inning. So you're looking for the perfect way to spend your special day. Join the Dodgers tomorrow at Dodger Stadium for a special Father's Day catch presented by Macy's. You and your family invited to the field for free from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for a Father's Day memory you won't soon forget. For more information, call 323-224-1507. There's a very proud father with mixed emotions and a proud mom sitting alongside of him. The Weavers anxious on every pitch by their sons. A bunt up along third base goes foul. So a nice try by Eric Ibar, and he'll have to come back and try it again. Ibar has a half a dozen sacrifices, so anytime he comes up, you know he's very handy with the bat. Eric hitting .286, switch hitter with .288 batting average left-handed. Eric, the younger brother of the former Dodger prospect and infielder Willie Ibar, from the Dominican, from Bani, only 25 years old. So Eric waits, hitting left-handed. Jeff Weaver set at the belt, down 2-0. Fastball is lifted to right center and deep. Kemp going back on the track at the wall. Makes a great catch as he crashes into the wall. What a wonderful play by Matt Kemp. And for Jeff Weaver, he goes out shaking his head. It looked like Ibar was going to come up with an extra base hit for sure. Matt timed it perfectly. That's an 18-foot high wall, so the ball was going to be in play. And at the end of 2-0 Angels. Third inning, 2-0 in favor of the Angels. Mark Loretta is the DH tonight. Loretta appeared as a pinch hitter last night in the 8th inning and drew a walk against Brian Fuentes, but Fuentes was able to move along and nail down the game. The pitch to Loretta in for a strike. So Mark with a count of no balls and 2 strikes. Loretta overall hitting .244, 11 runs batted in, 9 for 28 as a pinch hitter. Takes a pitch inside at the thighs. 1-2 to Mark. Then Martin and Kemp. Boy, that was a marvelous play by Matt Kemp. Go crashing into the wall in deep right center and make the catch. He can do it. Next pitch is hit on the ground to shortstop. Ibar is up with it. Throws Loretta out. So Jared Weaver, who lost a no-hitter to the Dodgers in June of last year, had retired the first 7 in a row. Of course, it didn't make Jared the only one. Since 1900, there have been 4 no-hit losses. Matt Young in 1992, prior to Jared's effort in 2008. Now Russell Martin at the plate and slices one just foul down the line, and the count 0-1. If you go back to 1964, Ken Johnson of the Houston Astros was the only one of 4 to pitch 9 innings and lose a no-hitter. So Jared Weaver with 1 out in the 3rd inning, working on Russell Martin. 2-0 in favor of the Angels. Jared ready, here he comes, and that's whacked to left field and deep. Back goes Rivera, way back, and it is away gone. Russell Martin hits his first home run of the year, and he hammers it, and that cuts the lead to 2-1. The last home run that Russell had hit prior to tonight was the end of September last year against Brian Wilson in San Francisco. Though he gets a hug from his teammates, that meant a lot to him, I'm sure, to finally get on the board with his first home run of the year. 59 games without one, and then he bangs it out tonight. Jared Weaver's breaking ball is low, 1 ball and no strikes. That is the 8th home run that Jared Weaver has allowed. There is one weakness for Jared Weaver, as the right-handed fastball is in for a strike to Matt Kemp. His weakness is holding runners on. In fact, since 2006, Jared Weaver continues to be one of baseball's easiest pitchers to steal against. Jared delivers and works it off the plate. Opposing base stealers have stolen 57 out of 70. We do the math. That's 81% for a success rate. But you got to get on base. Kemp trying to do just that. 2-1 count. Breaking ball low, ball 3. And if Kemp should get aboard, you figure he's going to run. He's stolen 17 out of 20. So 3-1 the count with 1 out and a run in. 2-1 Angels. Jared Weaver deals, and the pitch is a strike outside corner. Kemp started to go to first. Jeff Nelson is behind the plate calling balls and strikes. He worked last year's division series between the Dodgers and the Cubs. Jared Weaver delivers fastball low. So now with the table set, you have to believe that Matt Kemp is going to try to steal second base. Here's the pitch. And Martin all over it to drive it to left field. No doubt about it. He hit it way up above. And that home run, another 18,000 raised to support prostate cancer research. Remember to make a donation. Call 800-798-CURE or go online www.pcf.org. Well, let's see if Kemp tries to run right away. Jared Weaver a high set and backs off the rubber. So with Matt Kemp, a very successful base stealer representing the tying run, and Juan Pierre, no power but a contact hitter, you would certainly expect Kemp to try and go. Especially, as we said, runners really take advantage of Jared Weaver. Jared set up around the collarbone, very deliberate, just holding and throws to first, and Kemp, just like a statue, just falls over and touches the bag. Because Vladimir Guerrero really took liberties on Jeff Weaver, so maybe it runs in the family. Pierre waiting, fly to left field in the first inning. Matt Kemp, nice lead, but nothing like Guerrero. And the pitch to Pierre, ground ball, base hit to right field. And Kemp is not going to stop. He is on his way to third, and it's cut off by Ibar. So the Dodgers have runners at first and third. They did not need the stolen base as Pierre singles sharply to right. And the tying run is now 90 feet away, and Rafael Furcal will be coming up. So now Jared Weaver has given up a walk, a home run, and a single as the Dodgers try to come back and at least get even. Rafael Furcal grounded to short in the first inning. And of course, Jared Weaver is still going to be bothered by a premier base runner because Pierre has stolen 16 out of 20. So Jared Weaver is really on the horns, not of a dilemma. He's just on the horns. He has no choice. He turns, throws to first, and Pierre back. And of course, what the Angels are thinking, what do we do if Pierre takes off? Do we throw down to second? Because Kemp might be coming from third. With Furcal hitting in the 240s, a very interesting moment. All right, Jared Weaver, a high set, checks the runners at the corners. Pierre bluffs, and the curveball is low, ball one. Boy, it was such a good bluff. Your second thought was maybe he got a jump and then suddenly did not feel that he had enough traction. 1 ball and no strikes to Furcal. Pierre at first, Kemp at third. Rafael trying to tie it up at least. Jared Weaver out of his stretch, checks, delivers, and the pitch is low. Throw back to third, not in time, but a very close play. Good play by Jeff Mattis. Boy, he really hung out a line drive to third, and Kemp, far from the bag, had to go back head first. And Figgins right there sitting on him. 2 balls and no strikes the count to Rafael Furcal. It's 2-1 Angels, and the Dodgers threatening to tie. Pierre draws another throw, scrambles back on his hands and knees. 58 out of 71. Base steal is successful. So we'll see about Pierre. Kemp walking down the line from third. Time call. The dreaded beach ball has shown up on the track in right field. So Jeff Mathis will use the time and go out to talk to Jared Weaver. Jared Weaver, as a kid, Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, watching. Remember 3 years ago, Jared opened up his major league career and went 9-0, tying the American League rookie record for a starting pitcher, set by the great Whitey Ford of the Yankees back in 1950. All right, Jared bends at the knees and waist. Oh, that's a joke. There's 2, 3 beach balls. I've always been amazed. Of course, I remember we were so thrilled just to go to a ball game, but how people can make plans let's go to the ball game. Yeah, do you have your beach ball? Well, they do. All right, now we're ready. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Pierre and Kemp at the corners. For call, trying to pick somebody up. Out of a stretch goes Weaver, turns, throws, and diving back again is Juan Pierre. Pretty good runners out there. A total of 33 stolen bases, 33 out of 40. Kemp down the line from third. Pierre away from first. 1 out. 2-1 Angels. Weaver out of a stretch. Jared very deliberate in the inning and delivers, and it is swung on and missed. 2-1 the count to Rafael Furcal. Boy, this is really the task of a major league pitcher, working on a good hitter, and you have marvelous base runners at first and third. Jared straightens up again, looks over his left shoulder at Pierre. No action. Then he backs off the rubber and fakes a throw. So the Weavers, you may, if you're old enough, you may remember the Weavers, plural, as a singing group. Jared set, kind of quick pitches, and he's off the plate, and a 3-1 count. Yeah, the Weavers from a long time ago, they had one song about Irene, good night, Irene. That was a big hit. They had a couple. So the Weavers, baseball style, are banging heads here tonight. 3-1 the count. Mom and Dad sitting there worrying on every pitch. Jared set, checks, ready, and delivers, and it is high, ball 4. And so the Dodgers now have the bases loaded with 1 out, and Orlando Hudson coming up. Mike Butcher, who pitched for 4 years with the Angels and eventually became the pitching coach in '07. And Mike going out to talk to young Jared. Jared, as we said, is 27, and Jeff will be 33 in August. So the meeting continues. In the inning, Loretta grounded out. Russell Martin hit his first home run of the year after 59 games going back to September of last year. Then Kemp walked. Pierre singled him to third. Furcal walks. And here is Orlando. He came up last night with the bases loaded and popped up under the infield fly rule. That was unfortunate for the Dodgers because he also had 2 doubles and a single, but not when it really counted. So they looked to him again with a bases loaded situation. Jared Weaver out of a stretch, checking, ready, and delivers, and the first pitch a strike at the knees, and the count 0-1. Orlando with a little modest 7-game hitting streak. Kemp at third, Pierre at second, Furcal at first, so they all run very well. And Weaver facing a switch hitter who's batting left-handed. Hudson hitting .305 left, .347 right. Jared Weaver straightens up, checks his runners, and the right-handed delivers, and it's high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers have standing room only out there with Kemp, Pierre, and Furcal, and the Angels trying to hold on to a 2-1 lead. Now Jared Weaver again very deliberate. The 1-1 pitch, Orlando takes a strike, borderline pitch, and a 1-2 count. Weaver has really slowed the pace down. Now Jared looks in. Dodgers thoroughly frustrated last night. Here's the pitch, and it is swung on. A high fly ball to left center. That's plenty deep to score Kemp. The catch is made by Rivera. Matt will come in to tie it up. Pierre holding at second, and Furcal at first. So Orlando Hudson, a fly ball deep enough to left field to get Kemp home. And we have a 2-2 tie. That was kind of our little prayer for Gale and Dave Weaver, that the brothers would wind up tied and each go out for a pinch hitter. Maybe only in fiction, but For mom and dad, you know how they have to be agonizing, and they don't have an inning off. I mean, it's one thing to have one child playing and you're sweating him out, but each inning they go through it. So the Dodgers, who were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position last night, break through to get the scoring fly ball. And now here's James Loney in a 2-2 tie. Jared Weaver's curveball, good spinner, in for a strike, and the count 0-1. 71-mile-an-hour curveball. Loney, a fly ball to deep right field. Bobby Abreu went on the track to haul it in. James doesn't usually pull the ball right down the line, but he did first at bat. Pierre in for call. Well, if Weaver doesn't watch it, the Dodgers could run them both. For call, however, has not been a good base stealer. He's break even, 4 for 8. Pierre off the bag at second. That's the guy to worry about. And the pitch to Loney is fouled back. And the count now goes 0-2. So the Dodgers 2 and the Angels 2 in the third inning. Loney has been the big man in the eye department, leading with 45 runs batted in. Orlando Hudson with his scoring fly ball. He has 37. No balls and 2 strikes to James. Pierre at second, for call at first in a 2-2 tie. Jared Weaver sets up around the collarbone, and the right-hander's pitch in the dirt, swung on and missed. Mathis picks it up and throws him out, and that's the inning. However, the Dodgers scratch and get 2. Home run by Martin and a fly ball by Hudson to cash in Kemp, and it's a 2-2 tie. Dodgers 2, Angels 2, and certainly playing a part in the role, Matt Kemp, who made a spectacular catch in the second inning, crashing into the right center field wall on a ball hit by Eric Ibar. Did a little somersault, but held on to it. So Matt is accustomed to making those tough plays, bouncing off the walls, and we go to the bottom of the third inning in a 2-2 tie. Jeff Weaver now working on Sean Figgins, who singled to left and scored a run in the first inning. Figgins takes off the plate, ball 1-0. Figgins with a bunch of hits last night. He's had 25 multi-hit games this year. Sean waiting, and Jeff Weaver delivers, flips it in for a strike, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. You know, when Jeff Weaver left the Angels, his brother kind of taking his spot in the rotation, he went to St. Louis, and he was a remarkable pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals in the World Championship. Pitch to Figgins in for a strike. You may or may not remember, Jeff contributed in all 3 postseason series and started in one, the decisive Game 5 of the World Series against the Tigers. He turned in 8 great innings. And Jared said that's one of the great experiences in his life, watching Jeff pitch for the Cardinals and to wind up getting a ring. And Jared was saying, someday I hope I can do the same and pick up a World Series ring. Jeff was a 14th round pick, and 6 years later Jared was the 12th pick by the Angels. Meanwhile, Figgins swings, doesn't get it, down he goes, and we have 1 out. Third strikeout now for Jeff Weaver, and the batter will be Bobby Abreu. Good athletic genes naturally for Jared and Jeff Weaver. Dave Weaver, the father, was a very good basketball player. Mom, I understand, was a hurdler and a sandlot softball player. 1 away, and here's Bobby Abreu. Jeff ready, deals and misses away, ball 1. Abreu single to right field to cash in Figgins in the first inning. Bobby with 35 RBIs, 3 home runs. The big shock, he was thrown out trying to steal. That doesn't happen very often. He has stolen 15 out of 16 and then was caught by Martin's perfect throw in the first inning. So we have a 2-2 tie, 1 out in the third. Out of a stretch goes Jeff. Now the right-hander ready and delivers, and there's a comebacker speared by Jeff Weaver. Underhand Shaloney for out number 2. Nice play by Jeff Weaver. And the batter will be Torrey Hunter. So Abreu is shot up the middle, and Jeff stays with it. Torrey Hunter struck out in the first inning. Take another look at Jeff Weaver staying with that hard ground ball. So here is Hunter with 2 down, bases empty in the third. Jeff now has retired 5 in a row after the home run by Morales, and thanks to that marvelous catch by Matt Kemp. So with 2 out, here is Torrey Hunter, struck out in the first inning. Jeff ready, comes over the top, and it's outside, ball 1. He changes his arm angle. He'll come over the top on 1 pitch with a right-hand batter, then he'll try to sneak one in sidearm by way of third. Jeff straightens up, and the next pitch sidearm, and that one is on the inside corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Somebody hollering out of the Angel dugout, and it touched a nerve. Jeff Nelson whipped off his mask. I don't know whether it was Mike or not, but somebody touched a nerve, and Jeff puts the mask back on. He's been in the big leagues for 12 years. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way is fouled off to the right, out of play. Among other things, Jeff Nelson behind the plate when Mark McGwire hit his 500th career home run. He also worked the game where Rickey Henderson collected his 3,000th hit. 1-2 the count to Torrey Hunter. Jeff ready over the top, and it's down and away. Interesting, in order to throw sidearm naturally, he has to lean towards third base. And that time he was leaning a bit towards third, but came over the top. And the pitch was way out of the zone. Deuces wild on Torrey Hunter. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Over the top fastball lined right at Juan Pierre, and that's that. So thanks to his own nice play, the Angels are retired in order. Jeff walks off, and at the end of 3, a 2-2 tie. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. Who was the last pitcher to no-hit the Angels? Well, we'll give you the answer in a little while. Meanwhile, we have a 2-2 tie here at Angel Stadium. Casey Blake, Andre Ethier, and Mark Loretta against Jared Weaver. That last name is J-E-R-E-D. He gets a strike. He was named after his uncle Jerry and his late grandfather Edwin. So they combined it for Jared, and grew up as a Dodger fan. Good fastball strike. Oh, he's out in front of Blake, 0-2. Casey hit the ball hard in the second inning, a line drive right at Kendry Morales. Interesting that the infield is swung around towards third, but Torrey Hunter is shading right center, so the big gap is out there between Rivera and Hunter. Foul tipped, and down goes Blake. Third strikeout for Jared Weaver in the second in a row. Remember, he got Loney to end the third. And with one away, Andre Ethier flied out in the second inning. Ethier has 11 home runs. Interestingly, that 10 of the 11 have been hit at Dodger Stadium. In his last 8 games, Andre is struggling again, hitting just .167. 0-2. You know, you realize the toll that the game will play on people. Did you notice Dontrell Willis? Mental problems, somewhat despair, all mixed up. Ethier strikes out. Mathis will get the out at first. And if you remember Dontrell Willis when he first came up, big grins, big laughs, patting everybody. He was the happiest looking guy you ever saw. And now apparently a lot of mental problems because his game is just soured. Khalil Green, the fine shortstop with the Padres, who then went to St. Louis. Apparently the same problem. They put him on the DL because of the mind and the fact that he just maybe lost confidence, maybe he's not sleeping, worrying about his career. It can take a terrific toll. Oh, it's great to hit a home run and have everybody pat you on the back. But boy, it can be another story and be brutal. Line drive base hit for Mark Loretta. So with 2 out, Loretta singles to left, and Russell Martin coming up. Martin hitting his home run deep to left in the 3rd inning, his first home run of the year. Shows you how the fortunes of a player can change dramatically. I mean, Russell Martin is a perfect example. Do you remember his 2nd year back in 07? He had 19 home runs and 87 runs batted in. That's ball 1. Martin went from 19 to 13 last year to 1 right now in the Dodgers' 69th game. One and 0. Dodgers 2, Angels 2. That's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Martin homered, and Hudson's fly ball cashed in Kemp, who had walked. The Angels had a couple of base hits, a pickoff throwing error by Jeff Weaver, and Abreu single cashed in Figgins, and Morales hit a home run. Slow curveball whacked into center, base hit. Loretta will hold on at second. Corey Hunter, wow. Corey Hunter moving to his left. Picked up the ball and did a complete 360 out there and let a perfect throw go to Eric Ibar. You think a Gold Glove's just catching the ball. Watch this. And without even looking, with his body behind it, he throws a dart to Ibar. Brilliant. Big league play. So back-to-back singles after back-to-back strikeouts. In fact, Jared had 3 consecutive strikeouts. And now Loretta and Martin single. So here's Matt Kemp. He walked in the 3rd inning and scored a run on the fly ball by Orlando Hudson. Slow breaking ball, 0-1. Jared Weaver, as a youngster, was more involved with basketball than baseball. He was a catcher. Fastball and a fly ball to right field. Moving over is Abreu. And that'll be that. So no runs, 2 hits. The Dodgers lead 2. And at the end of 3.5 innings, a 2-2 tie. The Dodgers and the Angels all tied, and comparing the brothers, those are the numbers. Jared, with 4 strikeouts, had 3 in a row. And here we go in the bottom of the 4th with Guerrero, Rivera, and Morales in that order. Vladimir singled to right field in the first inning and stole second. One ball and no strikes. Guerrero is still not able to play. He can swing the bat, but the last we heard, because of the injury to the pectoral muscles in the chest, he hadn't been able to throw. He pinch hit in 3 games in San Francisco, but he has the luxury of being DH in an American League game. Guerrero, with his base hit in the first inning, extended his hitting streak to 8, which means he has hit safely in 17 of his last 19, which means he's ready to come back. 2-0. And he is in ready indeed. So Guerrero 2 for 2 with a single to right. Remember the trivia question we asked a little while ago? It had to do with the Angels and who was the last pitcher to no-hit the Angels. Eric Milton, who might have started a game like this, but is not eligible to come back yet. A long time ago. He was with the Twins in 1999. Juan Rivera struck out in the first inning. Now, one thing we'll have to watch with Guerrero, when he stole second in the first inning, he took an unusually big lead, and Weaver never threw over there, and Vladimir just picked his pocket. Breaking ball strike. You know the point of the cutout at the corner at first base? They have the cutout at first, second, and third. But the point of the cutout, if Guerrero gets out there and they don't throw over, now he's not near that point. Not yet. But earlier in the first inning, he was past the point and Weaver never threw over. And he just stole second base. Martin never had a chance. To see, he's already beyond the point. There's no way to get him, and he doesn't run very well anymore. You know, he is getting older. So they're going to have to really watch him. Because he stole as many as 40 bases 7 years ago. But he's 33 now. And Weaver's going to keep a little bit of an eye on him. 0-2. Yeah, Vladimir he still is a very good ball player, but gee, when he was first with Montreal, wow. 0-2. And Rivera hits one to third. They throw back to first, and they double up Guerrero. So Vladimir hung out on the line drive. Casey Blake takes care of it. And with 2 out, the batter will be Henry Morales. Vladimir trying to get back with a hand, but it was too late. So Guerrero back in with 2 away. Morales, who homered in the second inning, coming up. 2-2 tie, bottom of the 4th. The Angels have won 7 straight. Their record against the National League 9-1. Dodger record against the American League 5-5. Morales hitting .273, 11 home runs. We were talking about it just before he hit the home run. Last night, everyone was talking about Juan Rivera's game-winning home run. Mike Scioscia was talking about Morales' patience at the plate in the 6th inning when he drew a walk that eventually led to a 3-run inning to tie up the game. But let's face it, managers look at a game a lot different than most others. So Morales comes back. 1-2 the count. Maicer Izturis out on deck. Final game of the series, Kershaw and Lackey. Dodgers then go out on the road, and they'll go to play the Chicago White Sox during the week after Kershaw takes the mound here. And then after the White Sox, the Dodgers come home, and the weekend with Ichiro Suzuki and Seattle. Chopper to the right side. Orlando makes the play, so that's it. The line drive gets 2 quick outs, and then the ground ball. And at the end of 4, a 2-2 tie. The brothers Weaver may be an answer to mom and dad's prayers. They are tied 2-2. That would be something if it worked out. Neither one involved in a win or the loss. Dodgers now will have Juan Pierre, Rafael Furcal, and Orlando Hudson. Shows bunt, ball 1. Jared Weaver, in mentioning that he was a Dodger fan growing up, he got his first autograph from Ron Cey. And he really watched Mike Scioscia because, as we mentioned, as a kid, he was a catcher. He was a catcher-pitcher until a junior in high school. Eventually went on to Long Beach State. That's a strike. Can't imagine a 6'7" catcher, even in high school. Squirted foul. They're not brothers, but they're close. Juan Pierre and Sean Figgins started together in the low minors and have continued to be very, very, very close friends. Talk to each other all the time. Pierre still wants to drop a bunt on him, however, but probably not with 2 strikes. And instead, a flare that's going to land in front of Rivera. So Pierre is 2 for 3. And he has 3 hits so far in this series. Figgins 2 for 2 last night, hit tonight, so he has 3 hits. So the buddies are about even. And the batter now will be Rafael Furcal. So of course, Pierre leading off, you immediately think about a stolen base, especially with Jared's record. We talked about that. Pierre has stolen 16 out of 20. Fastball away. 1 ball and no strikes. The thought always is when you have a premier base stealer, the hitter is going to see a lot more fastballs as the pitcher tries to get the ball to his catcher as quickly as possible. So he started in fastball. And another one. 2-0 the count. So Mathis going out to talk to him. Five years ago, Jared Weaver was recipient of the Golden Spikes Award. That is a most prestigious honor. People like J.D. Drew, Pat Burrell, Mark Kotsay, Jason Jennings, Mark Pryor, Ricky Weeks, they all won the same award. And he was a unanimous All-American. He was 15-1 with an ERA of 1.6. Brilliant. So, first round pick. There goes Pierre, but it's fouled away by Furcal. 2-1. Rafael looking down to Larry Boa. Well, where it might have been a straight steal on that pitch, now with a 2-ball 1-strike count, you immediately think of the possibility of a hit and run play. We have a 2-2 tie. We're in the 5th, nobody out. We'll see how Joe plays it. Pierre draws a throw. Furcal has struck out less than 20% of the time, so you have a pretty good combination here. 2-1. Pierre goes. Pitch is low. Mathis throw on a hop. Got him. He came off the bag, I assume. Well, a one hopper by Jeff Mathis, and Pierre is caught. Only the 5th time this year that he's been nailed. And it was a tough pitch for Mathis to handle, but he got it down there. And you can see the big call by Tim Tashida. Got him there. Then he skidded by and he was done. So Pierre is caught. 1 away here in the 5th inning. Wonderful throw. And the pitch to Furcal is low, ball 4. For Jared Weaver, he has walked 3 and he has struck out 4. Mike Butcher out to talk to him now as Orlando Hudson comes up. With Furcal, a break-even base stealer, 4 for 8. Not quite the pressure on Jared Weaver. And as we mentioned, for a base stealer like Pierre to be thrown out shows some improvement on Jared Weaver's part, because the league and in his career they have an 80% success rate against him. So you figured the chances were that Pierre would make it. Also, the pitch where Pierre was running was almost in the dirt. So it was a fine play by Mathis to come up with it and still able to straighten up and throw out someone of the caliber of Pierre. Big play. Fouled away. Orlando struck out in the 1st inning, had a scoring fly ball in the 3rd when he came up with the bases loaded. He got Kemp home and that tied up the game. Hitting .315, 5 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Furcal held on by Morales. Fouled away. One thing that Jared Weaver does, when you look at his left shoulder, he swings the left shoulder towards 3rd base in the preliminary part of his delivery. And I'm sure the base runners are very conscious of that. See if he does it now. Yeah, there it goes. And there a bluff at first base and Furcal back. 1-2 the count to Orlando Hudson. Good ball game. 2-2 tie for the Dodgers. They've really been involved. The scores with Oakland 5-4, 5-4, 3-2, and then they come down here last night 5-4. Hard ground ball. Morales to second. No play at first. So Furcal is forced 3-6. And the batter will be James Loney. Hey, a reminder, baseball's biggest stars head-to-head for a spectacular night in the summer's biggest event. Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2009 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The coverage begins Tuesday, July 14th from St. Louis, live at 5 p.m. only on Fox. James Loney flied to right field deep and struck out. James 0 for 2. 2-2 tie. Hudson is certainly no slouch. He's 5 for 5 in stolen bases. And the Angels are very well aware of it. And that was pretty close for a guy to go back standing up. Almost a little tardy getting that right foot on the bag. James Loney has 45 runs batted in, 25 of them on the road. And probably bangs that to center for a base hit. Hudson will stop at second. So the Dodgers paid a price when Juan Pierre was caught stealing, because then for call walk, then he was forced. Now Loney a base hit, and the batter will be Casey Blake. Casey Blake lined out to Morales and struck out. Case 0 for 2. Blake came here with a 9-game hitting streak and then went 0 for 4 last night. Second on the club in home runs with 10 to Ethier's 11. A high strike, 0-1. Show you how valuable Casey Blake has become to the Dodgers. When Manny was suspended, since that day, Blake has hit .352 and has been a tower of strength defensively. Check swing will be a strike, so he's in a hole 0-2. At second base, Orlando Hudson. At first, James Loney. 2 down in a 2-2 tie. The Angels and the Dodgers. Dodgers with 6 hits and the Angels 5. Fastball away. Blake came into the game hitting .299. Breaking ball just off the plate. Pretty tantalizing pitch. Doesn't throw it hard, but it just seems to slide away at the last minute. Two balls, 2 strikes. Fastball hit into center field, base hit. Here comes Hudson. Here comes Torrey Hunter's throw. Mathis takes it, but nothing to do with it. And the Dodgers have runners at second and third and take a 3-2 lead. Casey Blake, a line drive single and a run batted in. So Hudson scores, and on the throw that goes all the way through to Mathis, Dodgers now have runners at second and third. So the Dodgers 3 runs, 7 hits. Angels 2 runs, 5 hits. And the batter will be Andre Ethier, flied to center and struck out with second and third and first base open. And a strike. Ethier has been struggling, and the veteran Mark Loretta is on deck, and they're going after Ethier. Time. And Mathis going out to the mound. Interesting now, every time the plate umpire orders time, I look for a beach ball. I mean, it's automatic. It's crazy. 0-1 the count. I think Mike was very unhappy that there wasn't someone able to cut off Hunter's throw. I mean, Mathis went 25 feet at least towards the mound. And that's going to be hit into right center, and there's nobody there. So in comes Loney. In comes Blake. And there goes Ethier with a triple. And the Dodgers lead 5-2 after they pitched to Ethier with first base open. Torrey Hunter had to go all the way to the wall, and Ethier breezing to third. So Andre picks up 2 big RBIs, and the Dodgers out in front, and that's ball 1. Remember that note we gave you at the very start of the game? In the 20 games where brothers faced each other, the older brother wins 11 of the 20 times. Not much, but it's interesting to think about now as Loretta hits one. Hunter on the dead run and picks it off, and that's the inning. But the Dodgers scramble and pick up 3. And at the end of 4 1/2, thanks to Andre Ethier, lead 5-2. 5-2 Dodgers. We told you that Mike Scioscia was upset over the throw from the center fielder Torrey Hunter. Keep your eyes on Maiciar Asturias. Why he leaves second base, I don't know. So when Mathis comes out to handle a throw, he has no one to throw the ball to. Mathis has just to eat it, to use the old expression. There was no way Ibar could handle it. He was going to cut off a throw to third. So that was a big play, and it was promptly cashed in by Andre Ethier. Of course, also you could say the selection of pitching to Ethier instead of Loretta with the bases loaded, that was another big moment. So Maiciar Asturias leaving second base, and that set up a big inning for the Dodgers. Asturias popped up in the second inning. Jared Weaver made 24 pitches in that inning. He made 25 in the third inning. So Jared's made 85 pitches, and that's a pop fly to the right side. It will be Orlando. One away, and the catcher Jeff Mathis coming up. Dodgers 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, racking them up against Jared Weaver, and the Angels 2 runs, 5 hits against the older brother Jeff Weaver. Jeff Weaver started like he was not going to be around very long. 3 hits and a throwing error in the first inning, and then a leadoff home run in the second. But he has settled down, facing 3, 6, 9, 10 batters since the home run. He's allowed 1 hit. Mathis popped to short in the second inning. Jeff out of Mariana, Florida. Good fastball on the hands. Angels scored a run in the first, another in the second. Dodgers came back with 2 in the third and 3 in the fifth. Ibar on deck. 2-1 to count. One hopper to Blake. 2 down here with Ibar coming up. You know, kids can now train for the big leagues and play ball on the field at Dodger Stadium during Junior Dodger Training Days. And I'm talking about children 7 to 12 learning baseball skills from coaches and players, and they'll receive a free Dodgers jersey and a hat. Purchase today at Dodgers.com/Junior Dodgers or give us a call 323-224-2646. Right. Two down, fifth inning. 5-2 in favor of the Dodgers. Game 2 of the 3-game series. Angels have won 3 of the previous 4. Fouled away. Ibar really hit one deep into right center field back in the second inning. And that's when Matt Kemp made a great catch, crashing into the wall, going elbows over tea kettle. 1-2 the count. Swung at it. It hit him. He's out, and that's that. So the inning is over, and at the end of 5, it remains Dodgers 5 and the Angels 2. On this day in 1965, Sandy Koufax pitched a one-hitter against the New York Mets. But you know what? It was only one of 3 one-hitters in less than a month. Don Drysdale had a one-hitter as he beat the Cardinals 2-0, and Claude Osteen had a one-hitter a week later, and he beat the Giants 3-0. Now that's a pitching staff. Let's go back to this one. Dodgers lead 5-2. 1 ball and no strikes they count to Russell Martin, who has homered and singled. Sixth inning, Martin, Kemp, and Pierre in that order. Dodgers with a home run by Martin and a triple by Ethier. 2-1 the count. .88 pitches made by Jared Weaver. Took a little something off that. It was 79 miles an hour, and Martin was out in front. Kevin Jepson, a right-hander, begins to throw now in the Angel bullpen. Fastball. Pretty good sink on it at the last minute. Martin just did get a piece. Two balls and 2 strikes the count. Little low. Dodgers trying to win their 20th game on the road and their 45th of the year. The Angels trying to win their 19th at home. Joe Torre trying to pick up yet another victory, and Martin picks up another hit. So Russell Martin is 3 for 3, 2 singles and a home run. This is one of the better games, if not the best offensive game that he's had this year. So Martin with Kemp and Pierre. Dodgers now with 9 hits against Jared Weaver. And remember that Jared Weaver came in working off a complete game shutout last time out against San Diego. Jared has won 4 straight. He's undefeated at home, 5-0. Breaking ball, they're going to check. No swing. 1-0 to Matt. Walk, scored a run in the 3rd. Flied to right in the 4th. That floats in there for a strike. Off speed at 71. Dodgers lead 5-2 against a pitcher who is 3-1 lifetime against them, with an earned run average coming in of 1.5. And that's a hopper to left field. Another base hit. So the Dodgers now 5 runs on 10 hits. Back-to-back singles by Martin and Kemp, And now Pierre, Furcall, and Hudson coming up. And an obviously troubled Mike Socia in the dugout. Juan Pierre coming up. Mike Butcher gets on the phone to check, see about Kevin in the bullpen. Jepson should be about ready if they need him. Pierre fly to left, single to right, single to left. So he's 2 for 3. See if he bunts. He does. Good bunt. Figgins has to make the play to his tourist. And the Dodgers have runners at second and third. Martin walking down the line from third to see whether they're aware of where he is. And then he goes back to the bag. So the good sacrifice by Juan Pierre. And the Dodgers now second and third. And Rafael Furcall the batter. And here comes Mike. So for mom and dad, a change of pitcher was going to hurt either way. And Jared goes out. Mom gets up. Dad joins her. Yeah, the best thought would have been a scoreless tie. We'll be back. Dodger Baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, try the mini Buffalo Ranch chicken sandwiches. 3 mini home-style chicken fillets on toasted mini buns. And by Southwest Airlines. Ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. The Dodgers trying to open things up, and they have chased Jared Weaver, leading the Angels 5-2. And with runners at second and third and 1 out, Rafael Furcall will be the batter against Kevin Jepson, a right-hander just recently called up, and he picked up the victory on the 17th against the Giants, his first major league victory. So Kevin finds Martin at third, Kemp at second. The infield is up, and a big lash at the ball by Rafael Furcall. Rafael grounded to short and walked twice. So the Dodgers lead by 3, looking for more. The Angels trying to cut down a run at the plate. In the dirt. Jepson is a local boy, and I mean local. He was born here in Anaheim, although he lives over in Phoenix. Went to high school in Nevada. He won a bronze medal as a reliever for the 2008 USA Olympic baseball team in Beijing. And in the dirt, gets away from Mathis. Everybody's going to move up. Martin scores. Kemp takes third. And the Dodgers lead 6-2 on the wild pitch. Well, the Dodgers a 4-run lead. That run is charged to Jared Weaver. And of course, Kemp at third is also Jared's responsibility. So with an earned run average of 1.5 in 5 previous starts against the Dodgers, he gives up at least 6. So Furcall now trying to get Kemp home. Foul back. Kevin Jepson is 6'3", 215-pounder. Started with the Angels rookie club in '02. Furcall with Hudson on deck. 2 singles, a sacrifice, and a wild pitch for a run. Breaking ball. Down goes Furcall. So Jepson gets a big out. Now the batter is Orlando Hudson. Orlando Hudson struck out, had a scoring fly ball, hit into a force play, and scored a run. Dodgers lead 6-2, 0-1. When the Angels come up in the bottom half, Figgins, Abreu, and Hunter. If anybody gets on, Guerrero. In the dirt, that gets away. Here comes Kemp. Mathis throw to the plate. He is out at the plate. A wonderful combination. Mathis making a great throw, and Jepson making a very good tag. Big league play all around. So the Dodgers frustrated here. Ball squirts, but watch Mathis on his right knee, and then a good quick tag by Jepson. Dodgers lead 6-2. Dodgers lead the Angels 6-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be Sean Figgins, Bobby Abreu, and then Torrey Hunter. A lot of exciting plays starting last night, right through that play at the plate to end the top of the 6th. Jeff Weaver has made 60 pitches through 5 innings. Not only has he not walked anybody, he has not had a 3-ball count. So that's one big reason why he's still in there. Sean Figgins single to left, scored a run, and struck out. 1 for 2. Figgins hitting .325. That's in there. 1 ball and 1 strike. I would guess it's a little bit of a surprise that Jeff Weaver is still pitching, and maybe an even bigger surprise that Jared Weaver is not. Jeff hadn't made a start since the 20th of May, and Jared was coming off a complete game shutout and had won 4 straight and was unbeaten here, 5-0. But that's baseball. Two and 1 the count. Two and 2. Fastball not quite 90. He's been up there at 88 to 89. Very good control up to here. The home run by Morales in the 2nd inning. The next 12 batters, Jeff's allowed just 1 hit. Breaking ball fouled away off third, well back into the crowd. I would guess this crowd would be a lot close to last night's 44,222. They are here. I remember when we first started the Interleague Series back in 1997, and they always had larger crowds here in Anaheim than they did at Dodger Stadium. Figgins unloads to deep right center field. That one's got a lot behind it, and Ethier can't get it. Kemp finally plays the count. Figgins is on his way for 3, and he is in there. The throw backed up by Weaver. So Ethier and Kemp ran out of real estate as the ball banged off the fence. For Sean Figgins, that would be his 4th triple. Got a ball down around the knees and really smoked it. Ethier couldn't get it. Kemp played the carom, but with Figgins' speed, he's into 3rd. And right where he should be, Jeff Weaver was backing up at 3rd. So Figgins a leadoff triple, and the batter is Bobby Abreu. Anyway, we always had bigger crowds here than at Dodger Stadium, and I remember asking Jerry Doggett, who lived down here, God bless him, I said, why is it they have more people here than in Los Angeles? And Jerry said, and I guess it made sense certainly in those days, there were more Dodger fans down here in Anaheim than there were Dodger fans up in Los Angeles. Consequently, larger crowds here. So Jeff goes through 5, can stand to pick up a victory and perhaps beat his brother. Maybe. And we'll be right back. Dodgers have come up with 2 great plays defensively. Last night, Casey Blake making what appeared to be an impossible catch with the bases loaded, and Matt Kemp slamming into the wall and holding on to it. Adding to the gloves have been the Dodger bats that have scored 6 times. And as Blake and Kemp rest, Ronald Belisario will pick up for Jeff Weaver. So Weaver pitched very well, maybe even better than most people thought, considering the fact he hasn't pitched very well. He goes a little over 5, gives up 6 hits and 2 runs, struck out 4. And of course the runner at third is Figgins. So for Jeff, having gone the required 5, he either wins or he has nothing to do with it. Bobby Abreu facing Ronald Belisario. Abreu has singled. Throw down to third, but Figgins at the bag. Martner made a great throw earlier. Keeping an eye on Figgins. Abreu 1 for 2, singled and hit back to the box in the 3rd inning. That's when Jeff Weaver made a good play to get him. Fouled away. 0-2 the count, and Belisario comes in throwing hard. He hits 94 on the gun. Belisario pitched the 8th inning against the Oakland A's, and now comes in game 2 of this series. Figgins down the line from third, nobody out. Dodgers lead 6-2. 1-2 to Bobby Abreu. Abreu hitting .301. He has 3 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Ronald Belisario, who didn't figure in anybody's plans, has become so very valuable to the Dodgers. And he comes in to strike out Bobby Abreu. 1 away. And that was 94 down and away. And the batter now will be Torrey Hunter. For Abreu, that's only the 36th time that he has struck out this year. Hunter has struck out and lined out to left. And as we always do with a runner at third, we check Belisario. He has 3 wild pitches. Falling behind, 2 balls and no strikes to Hunter. Vladimir Guerrero on deck. So Torrey Hunter hit by a pitch. Belisario has hit 3. As that fastball got Hunter right on the left arm. So first and third, 1 out. Martin out there to settle Belisario, and here comes Vladimir. First and third and 1 out. Belisario has never faced Guerrero in the past. Martin taking his time trying to slow him down a little bit. Fastball 0-1. Vladimir Guerrero single to right in the first inning, stole a base, and single to right in the 4th inning. So he's 2 for 2 with Figgins at third and Hunter at first. Belisario from Venezuela in the dirt. You bring that up because if he were from the Dominican Republic, he would have worshipped Vladimir Guerrero, who's been in the big league since 1996. So he was playing in the big leagues when Belisario was about 15. 93. Pretty good sink to that. Guerrero hitting .305 with a home run and 10 runs batted in. He's been pretty banged up, but he's getting better and better. One fastball after another, same spot, down and in. So that's quite a job to strike out Abreu and Guerrero right in there. And at 94. So now the batter is Juan Rivera, who has struck out and lined out. Now Rivera is from Venezuela, and he's been around. Came up with the Yankees 2001. First and third, 2 out in the 6th. Fastball, foul ball, 0-1. Angels scored in the first inning and again in the second. Dodgers tied it in the third. Dodgers added 3 in the 5th and 1 in the 6th. Big blow with runners at second and third. They opted to pitch to Ethier instead of Loretta, and Ethier tripled home a big deuce. The runners at second, third were set up by a poor play by Meiser Izturis, who left second base. And instead of first and third, it was second and third. Mike Scioscia had a few words to say to Izturis when he came into the dugout. One ball and 1 strike to Juan Rivera. Boy, he's right there at 94. One pitch after another. Ronald Belisario, 6'2". They had him listed at 175, but he certainly looks like he's bigger than that. Rivera, when he struck out in the first inning with the runner going, the pitch is low, so Hunter steals second base. The Dodgers just forgot all about him. For Torrey Hunter, that would be his 12th stolen base. He's stolen 12 out of 15. Rivera has only struck out 20 times this year. And he's got 10 home runs, 36 runs batted in, and about 240 plate appearances. So he is some contact hitter. Check swing. They mentioned earlier that he's the toughest Angel to strike out. And of course, the Dodgers found out all about him last night. A 9-pitch at bat. 6 foul balls, and the 9th pitch he hit for the game-winning home run. Fastball, big chopper foul. Ronald Belisario picking up for Jeff Weaver. Weaver went 5. Gave up the triple to Sean Figgins, and they hooked him for Belisario, who has struck out 2, hit a batter. 3-2 the count to Juan Rivera, and waiting on deck, Kendry Morales. Got him. So Belisario just comes in and throws 94, and the last pitch was 95. He strikes out the side. The Angels come up empty, and at the end of 6, 6-2 Dodgers. 6-2 Dodgers as we go to the 7th inning. You know, throughout our communities, unique individuals give back in many charitable ways. Jason Silver, Gerardo Gomez, Barbara Pililis, the Dodgers finalists in People Magazine's All-Stars Among Us. Through June the 24th, you can vote for one by going to foxsports.com and clicking on the link for All-Stars Among Us. The winners will be honored before the All-Star game on July 14th, seen only on Fox. Great people doing a great job. Dodgers leading 6-2, 7th inning, after Ronald Belisario comes in to strike out the side. Rich Thompson will be pitching now to Orlando Hudson. Rich Thompson was born in Hornsby, Australia, and raised in Sydney. And naturally, as a youngster in Australia, he was very familiar with Australian sports. He was involved in swimming and cricket, rugby, soccer, Australian rules football. When he was 5 years old, his parents signed him up for T-ball. They had no idea that it had anything to do with baseball, but they thought it sounded nice, so they signed him up for it. Hudson, a fly ball. Here comes 8 Gold Gloves after it. 1 away. Anyway, Rich Thompson fell in love with the game, but then the 2000 Sydney Summer Olympic Games clinched it. He had just turned 16, and he knew what he wanted to do with his life. He was the bat boy for the United States in the gold medal game against Cuba. So Rich Thompson, 6'1", 190, only 25. Actually beat 25 in July. Fastball, splitter, and a change. Fastball gobbled up down there by Kendry Morales. 2 down. Nice play.
Number 23, third baseman, Casey Blake.
2 out, top of the 7th, 6-2 Dodgers. And Casey Blake, the batter. The Angels will have Morales, Izturis, and Mathis in the bottom of the 7th. Check swing, but it's going to cost him a strike. Casey Blake lined out to first, struck out, and singled to drive in a run. Hitting 300, 10 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Fastball strike. 0-2. There's that 12-6 curveball that he throws. So he takes care of Blake. Nice performance by Rich Thompson. And at the end of 6.5, Dodgers lead 6-2. The Weavers, young Jared and Jeff. And here's the way to match them up. Same strikeouts, big difference in walks. Jeff did not have a 3-ball count. And of course, Jared gave up a half a dozen earned runs and 10 hits. So right now, Jeff has a shot to be the winner. And the first pitch to Morales, a strike. Meanwhile, Dave and Gail Weaver, mom and dad, in an unforgettable experience, watching their sons go head to head. That's a strike. Wow, Belisario loosening up now. He just hit 96 with that pitch. Morales homered and grounded out. Belisario a little better than 2-1. Strikeouts to walks. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Ramon Troncoso begins to warm up. And by the way, it appears as if Jonathan Broxton would be able to pitch tonight. Remember, Broxton's had a bad toe, took a cortisone shot. But the word is they could use him. Fastball slapped into left field. Base hit. So Morales goes the other way. He is 2 for 3. And the batter will be Meiser Izturis. You know, Sunday, June the 28th, join the Dodgers at the beach, Bleacher Beach, at Dodger Stadium. Enjoy unlimited barbecue fresh off the grill, Dodgers floppy hat, and a private beach party as you watch the Dodgers take on the Mariners. To purchase tickets, check Dodgers.com/beach or call 866-DODGERS. Strike to Izturis, who has twice popped up to Orlando Hudson. Belisario made 18 pitches when he came in to relieve in the 6th inning. Striking out the side and to hit a batter. Fouled away. 0-2 the count to Meiser Izturis. Dodgers 6 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. They've left 5. The Angels 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. They have left 3. Down and dirty, and he still swings and strikes out Izturis. So Belisario comes in and strikes out 3 in the 6th inning and comes right back to strike out Izturis here in the 7th. And the batter will be Jeff Mathis. Popped to short, grounded to third, 0 for 2. And a strike. 1 out, 7th inning, 6-2 Dodgers. Mike Napoli caught last night. Went 0 for 2 with a scoring fly ball. Now it's Napoli's turn to sit down and Mathis' turn to play. Jeff, a little town west of Tallahassee. No balls, 2 strikes. I think we mentioned earlier, perhaps the most famous native from Mariana, Florida, Bobby Goldsboro. Meanwhile, Mathis was pretty famous as a high school quarterback. Played in the state championship game and was recruited by Florida State. Checks on a fastball. 2-2 the count. Finally got a scholarship to Florida State. Jeff also had an older brother, Jake, who played in the Angels organization but never could quite cut it. 2-2. 3-2. Mathis has 1 home run. His dad, a lineman for a power company, but it has not been passed on to Jeff. See you later. Throw to first, not in time. And Belisario just throwing darts. Meanwhile, on that close play at first, make sure both men are okay. Belisario now has struck out 5. All the outs in inning and 2/3. And Eric Ibar coming up. Loney jumping in the air as if he might have hurt his foot a moment, but apparently okay. So Belisario really impressive, throwing 94, 95, and he has struck out 5. Ball 1. Ibar, who is not a big man, 5'10", maybe 170, yet he sent Matt Kemp crashing into the right center field wall for a long out back in the 2nd inning. Then last time up, Jeb Weaver struck him out. 1 ball, no strike. Ball 2. Belisario basically fastball, slider, and changeup. The fastball has a natural sink to it. And he throws it 94, 95. He has been clocked as high as 98. Belisario, 25 years old. No, make it 26. He'll be 27 New Year's Eve. Three and 0 to count to Eric Ibar with Sean Figgins on deck. And that's ball 4. So after striking out 5, Belisario walks Ibar, and let's see what Joe has in mind. Troncoso has been throwing in the pen, and he's ready if they need him. Figgins, a switch hitter, far more dangerous left-handed than right, according to the numbers. And Joe will now take the ball from Belisario, who turned in quite a job, and we'll be back. Ramon Troncoso coming in with the Dodgers leading 6-2. Belisario in an inning and 2/3 struck out 5, gave up a single and a walk, made 35 pitches, and Joe figured that's enough. And so Troncoso brought in to face Sean Figgins. Figgins has single a left, struck out and tripled. And his numbers tell you he is far more effective batting left-handed. So here he comes. 2 on, 2 out. Dodgers lead 6-2 in the 7th. Morales at second, Ibar at first, and Troncoso ready. Ball 1. Troncoso has pitched scoreless relief 18 of his last 20. Had not given up a home run until the other night against Oakland. Fouled away. 1-1 to count. So it's been Jeff Weaver for 5, Belisario for an inning and 2/3, and now Troncoso. Ground ball to short for call, quickly to Hudson for the force play, and that's that. No runs, 1 hit. Angels leave 2, and at the end of 7, it's 6-2 Dodgers. Dodgers leading the Angels 6-2. Russell Martin's had a big day, 2 singles and a home run. The home run occurred in the 3rd inning against Jared Weaver on a fastball, and he hit it deep to left field for his first home run of the year. And naturally, the Dodgers kind of froze him for the moment. Then they all mobbed him. They know just how sweet that was to finally hit one. His first in 69 games and his first since last September. Dodgers have added to it, and now here's Andre Ethier. Fly to center, struck out and tripled to drive in 2. Ball 1. Ronald Belisario went 1 2/3, struck out 4, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, hit a batter. Made 35 pitches. Fastball sliced to left. Coming over on the dead run is Rivera, but no play. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. With runners at second and third, Mark Loretta hitting behind Ethier. Mike Scioscia with first base open. After is Turris. Had left second base, so that on a throw to the plate, Jeff Mathis had no one to throw the ball to at second. And Mike was visibly upset over that. And then Mike opted to pitch to the left-hand batter with first base open and Loretta on deck. And Ethier responded with a triple to drive in 2. Hard ground ball knocked down by his Turris, then gets him 1 away. So Ethier grounds out and Mark Loretta, the DH, coming up. Loretta grounded to short, single to left, flied to center. Dodgers trying to snap the Angels' 7-game winning streak. Of course, the Dodgers coming in here last night had been playing well. They had won 4 out of 5, 7 out of 11. One ball and no strikes. Loretta hitting overall .247 with 11 runs batted in. Had a big hit the other night to win the game. And this time a high fly ball to deep left center, but Torrey Hunter is out there. 2 down. That'll bring up Russell Martin, who homered to left, single to center, and single to left. He has scored twice on the home run and on a wild pitch. So Martin, with his average at .250, 1 home run, 21 runs batted in. And a strike. Martin coming into this game was hitting .111 over the last 8 and .125 in the month of June. But never changed, went about his work day after day. You would never know he was in such a horrific slump. Now gets 3 hits tonight. And you could see the tribute when his teammates gathered to hug him and pat him on the back when he hit that home run. Bounce the curveball. No swing, says Mark Carlson. Two out, top of the 8th inning. Dodgers lead 6-2. The Angels will have the heart of the lineup, Abreu, Hunter, and Guerrero, when they come up in the bottom of the 8th. Fastball popped up, and I mean up, and it will be Ibar. So that'll do it for the Dodgers. The last 7 in a row retired. However, as we go to the bottom of the 8th and Troncoso, it's 6-2 Dodgers. Dodgers lead the Angels 6-2, bottom of the 8th inning here at Angel Stadium. Bobby Abreu followed by Torrey Hunter and then Vladimir Guerrero in that order. And Ramon Troncoso, who came in to get the last out after Ronald Belisario was very impressive, striking out 4. Now Ramon takes over to face Abreu. Abreu is single to right, hit back to the box, struck out, 1-4-3. Right. The Angels began the day a half a game behind Texas. They're playing the Giants, and they're in the 9th inning in a 1-1 tie. So that's important for the Angels, who are a half a game back at Texas. Dodgers are 8 in front of the Giants. Vladimir hits 3rd in the inning. 0-2 the count to Bobby Abreu. Angels coming into this game had hit 16 home runs in their last 7. So it was no surprise when Morales homered opening up the 2nd inning. 2-2 the count to Bobby Abreu. Weaver, Belisario, and Troncoso. It would be interesting if Jeff Weaver does get the win. There's strike 3 call. This is a rare game indeed when Abreu strikes out twice in 4 at-bats. The interesting thing about Jeff Weaver, he was certainly a long shot starting today, had not started since the 20th of May. Do you know, outside of Chad Billingsley, the Dodgers starters do not have a victory in the month of June. Dodgers starters are 0-6. And Weaver could win it. And of course for Clayton Kershaw, he's come up empty a couple of times this month. He'll have another shot at it going up against John Lackey tomorrow evening. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Torrey Hunter struck out, lined out to left, hit by a pitch, and stole second in the 6th inning. Torrey hitting .318, 16 home runs, 51 RBI. 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, Belisario was something. He came in the 6th, struck out Abreu, Guerrero, and Rivera, and also struck out his Turris and Mathis. For Troncoso, a tough act to follow. Little roller foul. 2-2 the count to Torrey Hunter. Mickey Hatcher and Sean Higgins, and of course Hatch, the hitting coach for Mike Scioscia. What a great guy he was to have on a ball club in his days with the Dodgers. Three and two. So Hunter still up there on a 3-2 count. The Angels hit a really dry spell right after Morales homered in the 2nd inning. Jeff Weaver took over through the 5th inning, allowing just 1 hit after the home run. Then when he gave up the triple opening up the 6th, Joe went out and got him. So the 1-out walk to Hunter will bring up Guerrero. For Vladimir Guerrero, he is as well, he would be the most aggressive hitter around. He will swing at almost anything. During a Seattle series, he had 45 pitches and he swung at 36 of them. So the old timers would call him a Bible hitter. Quote, thou shalt not pass anything around the plate. Like that. Hard ground ball to Hudson, hangs it to Furcal. Big double play. See you later. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. And at the end of 8, Dodgers 6, Angels 2. Dodgers holding on to a 6-2 lead against the Angels. And if you had the question in mind, it's being answered right now as Ramon Troncoso talks to Russell Martin. Down in the Dodger bullpen, the big man has gotten up. So Jonathan Broxton, who has missed a couple of assignments because of the sore toe, apparently is well enough to get ready to pitch the 9th. Meanwhile, the Dodgers in the 9th inning will have Matt Kemp, Juan Pierre, and Rafael Furcal. Kemp walked, flied to right, single, scored 1, out at the plate the next time. Strike. Tried to come home on a wild pitch, and a good play by Jeff Mathis, and a good tag by Jepson got him. Fastball whacked into left field. So Matt Kemp is 2 for 3 with a walk. That's some lineup when you have a guy like Matt Kemp hitting ninth. Matt came in at 310 and 2 for 3 with a walk, scored a run. So he just keeps moving up. Juan Pierre, 2 for 3, hitting .332. He has 2 hits. His buddy Figgins has 2 hits. Figgins has 4 hits in the series, and Pierre has 3. Kemp has stolen 17 out of 20. Ball 1. See Pierre showing bunt, then suddenly pull the bat back, and Mathis all set to take a shot at first. Boa perhaps hanging out a sign. On deck, Rafael for call. Oh, they have him, and he just did get back. They had him leaning. A little better throw, and he's done. See how far he is out there, and the throw was just short. Of course, good base runners are the only ones who are ever picked off anyway. And 2-0 the count to Pierre. 44,148. Last night it was 44,222. And tomorrow night, Clayton Kershaw and John Lackey. Dodgers will then go to play the White Sox for 3 and then come home and play Ichiro and Seattle plus Colorado. There goes Kemp. Pitch outside, the throw on a bounce, and it gets away, and Matt has it stolen. Kemp hurt himself. His left hand. Timeout. Got a good jump, has the play beaten, and then goes in head first. And he might have been stepped on by Ibar, and I think that's what happened. Right there. Ouch. So Matt Kemp seals his 18th. And you can see Ibar's left foot stepped right on Matt Kemp's left hand. That's a strike. Pierre for call and Hudson trying to pick up Matt with the Dodgers leading 6-2. Pierre 2 for 3 plus a sacrifice. The bunt in the air, foul over the backstop screen. Pretty good 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and a 3-2 count. 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. They've left 5. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Angels. They have left 5. Three and 2. And whacked to right. Moving over as Abreu to get it. Kemp committed, so he has to go back to the bag. So 1 away. You know, friends, you can stay connected with the Dodgers and Dodger fans around the world at Dodgers.com/connect. You can become a fan on Facebook, follow on Twitter, or get inside the Dodgers with their front office blog. Find all these and more at Dodgers.com/connect. Interesting talking about all of that in watching at least the early days of what might be the revolution in Iran. They were talking about the fact 70% of the people in Iran are 30 years or younger. So they're all so up to date that they can Twitter and they can use the cell phone, etc., etc. And although they try to shut them down, they're getting pictures out. Breaking ball for call, just did hold up. No swing, says Bob Davidson. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rafael grounded to short, walked twice, and struck out. In this American League lineup the Dodgers have, they have 5 of their 11 hits in the numbers 8 and 9 slots, and they're pretty light up top. Pierre has 2, Furcal 0 for 2, Hudson 0 for 3, Loney 1 for 4. Two and 2 the count to Rafael Furcal. For the Angels, it's been Jared Weaver, Kevin Jepson, and Rich Thompson, the boy from Australia, from down under. Checked again. So 3 and 2 to Furcal. Kemp at second base. 1 away. And there's ball 4. So Rafael has walked 3 times today. And the batter will be Hudson. And Mike's going to make a move. Hudson had struck out, had a scoring fly ball, hit into a force play and fly to center. And they're going to bring in Rafael Rodriguez, another right-hander. So Thompson comes out, and we'll be back. Dodgers trying to add to their 6-2 lead with 1 out here in the 9th inning. Mike Scioscia goes to the bullpen again and brings in Rafael Rodriguez. 24 years old. He'll be 25 in September, from the Dominican. Kind of a maximum effort delivery at 6'1", 180. And this will be his 9th game. Orlando Hudson will come up. In the past, Rafael Rodriguez had a lot of trouble against left-hand batters. So we'll see what happens now as Hudson checks in. Orlando a fly ball to left field to pick up a run in the 3rd inning. 2 on, 1 out. That's a strike. 0-1. So Jared Weaver started, gave way to Kevin Jepson and to Rich Thompson, and now Rafael Rodriguez. The Dodgers with Jeff Weaver, Ronald Belisario, Ramon Troncoso, and it looks like Jonathan Broxton. 1 hopper into right field. Now let's see. They will hold everybody, though the bases are loaded with 1 out. Well, the background we had understood about Rafael Rodriguez was that left-handers hit him hard. So they bring him in, and Hudson bats left-handed and probably ropes 1 into right. And another left-hand hitter, James Loney, coming up. So the base is loaded with 1 out in the 9th inning. James Loney fly deep to right, struck out, single to center, and grounded out. James had a grand slam a couple of years ago in Colorado. And you may remember he had a grand slam against the Cubs in the division series. Points up the fact again, the Angels are the only team in the major leagues without a grand slam. And a strike. 0-1. Fastball, slider, and change. James hitting .280, 3 home runs, 45 runs batted in. Bases loaded, 1 out, 9th inning, 6-2 Dodgers. 1-1. So you have Matt Kemp at third, Rafael Furcal at second, and Orlando Hudson at first. Dodgers making a little noise for the first time since the 5th and 6th innings offensively. That squirted foul over Boa's head. 1-2 the count. Hard foul the other way. Still 1-2. You have to stay loose down there. Last night, Randy Wolf came so close, along with Hiroki Kuroda, of being drilled by a foul ball. Randy back alongside of Chad Billingsley, and Kuroda sitting right on the edge, ready to dive to his left. Big swing, and Loney comes up empty. So Loney strikes out. Slider down, and the batter now Casey Blake. Lined out to first, struck out, single to center, and struck out. So he has knocked in 1 and he has scored 1. Fastball strike, and he hits 92 on the gun. To look ahead, bottom of the 9th inning, the Angels will have Rivera, Morales, and Izturis. Good breaking ball, and they should get the last out, and they do. So the Dodgers load the bases but come up empty. And at the end of 8.5 innings, Jonathan Broxton getting ready. 6-2 Dodgers. Dodgers lead 6-2, bottom of the 9th inning. The brothers Weaver very much involved in the decision as of right now. Jeff to win and Jared to lose. And if indeed Jeff wins, it would be the 12th time in the 21 matchup of brothers where the older brother beats the younger brother. We'll see if that stands up. Right now it'll be up to Jonathan Broxton, who has been out with the sore toe, missing a few assignments. But here he is. Big John will be facing Rivera, Morales, and Izturis. Fastball, ball 1. Broxton's last appearance, he pitched in that extra inning game where the Dodgers beat the A's 5-4, and he has not pitched since. Rivera is 0 for 3, struck out twice and lined out. Broxton hits 97, but he's behind. 2 balls and no strikes. Rivera hitting .312, 10 home runs, 36 runs batted in, the hero of last night's game. And ball 3. So Broxton figures to be a little rusty. And you look at his numbers, he's 6-0, an earned run average of 1.3. And his strikeout to walk ratio not quite, but almost 5-1. Three and 0 the count to Rivera. And the strike. 3-1. 6 runs, 12 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. They've left 8. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Angels. They have left 5. And we're in the 9th. And that's inside, ball 4. So Rivera draws the walk. And the batter now will be Kendry Morales, who homered, grounded out, and single left. Morales hitting .275. He has 11 home runs, 35 RBIs. There goes the runner. That'll be a strike. Dodgers pay no attention, so defensive indifference. No stolen base. 0-1. Both Hudson and Furcal right on the rim, and the outfield straight away. So Broxton, 1 ball and 1 strike. He's throwing hard, 97, just about every fastball. But he walks Rivera. Now 1-1 to Morales. Turris on deck, who is 0 for 3. One ball and 1 strike. One and 2. So he throws the slider about 88 and the fastball at 97. Left-handers have had a lot of trouble with them all year. Left-handers are hitting about a half a buck. 0.53. 3 for 57. Welcome to the club. So down goes Morales. That was a 97-mile-an-hour heater. And 1 out. Now the batter is Turris. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. He's 0 for 3. Popped up to Hudson twice and struck out. Gary Matthews comes out on deck. So Matthews would hit for Mathis. Strike. One pitch after another at 97. There was the big toe on his right foot, the push-off foot, that caused him to miss some work. 1-1. Of course, you have to make contact. There's a little trough, and your foot's down in there, because he works right off the edge of the first base side of the rubber. The big trough, it helps probably some of the bigger pitchers who like to work right off the middle. Two and one the count. Usually the area of concern when you have a lot of pitchers, and we've had 8 pitchers in the game, is not really right around the rubber. It's directly in front in the landing area. That can get awfully chewed up and become somewhat treacherous. 2-1. And ball 3. Big John celebrated his 25th birthday just a few days ago, and a few days before that became a father for the first time, so these are exciting times for him. 3-1 the count to Meiser Izturis. Right. 3-2. And of course for Broxton, tomorrow will be a big day, as it is for all of us, Father's Day. Three and two, 1 out. Rivera at second base. And hit down the left field line. Pierre on the run, picks it off. Nice play and fair ground. And back to second base goes Rivera. So Gary Matthews will now come up with his foot in the door as the Dodgers try to close it up. A good defensive play by Juan Pierre. Ball was hit high enough to allow him to get there. So Gary Matthews comes off the bench to bat for Jeff Mathis. And Rick Honeycutt going out just to remind Broxton how they like to pitch to Gary. Matthews, chip off the old block. His dad, Sarge, played 16 years in the major leagues. He's now involved in broadcasting. Gary, 35 years old by the end of August. Born in San Francisco when his dad was playing for the Giants. Originally selected by the Padres back in 1993 at a Mission Junior College, and he finally came up to the big leagues with the Padres briefly in '99, then to the Cubs, the Pirates, the Mets, the Orioles, back to the Padres, then the Rangers, and here with the Angels. So Matthews with 2 out, 9th inning, a runner at second base, and the Dodgers leading 6-2, trying to win it for Jeff Weaver. Fastball whacked into right center field. No doubt about that thing, way up in there. And just like that, it's 6-4 in favor of the Dodgers. For Jonathan Broxton, that would be the first home run that he has allowed this year, and it certainly was a no doubt about it. So Matthews comes off the bench, looking fastball. That's just what he got, and he hits it out of sight. That's an 18-foot high wall, and he hit it back about 4 rows. That home run by Matthews, another $18,000 raised to support prostate cancer research. You know, you can make a donation. Call 800-798-CURE or go online, www.pcf.org. And the batter is Eric Ibar. Strike. So the Angels with 2 more home runs today. They've had 18 home runs in their last 8 games. And the first one given up this year by Jonathan Broxton. That's a strike. So he comes right back 0-2 to Ibar. Foul back. By the way, that home run by Gary Matthews would be his second home run. As a switch hitter, he has one left and one right. 6-4 in favor of the Dodgers in the bottom of the ninth inning. Oh, and 2. Little ground ball to Hudson. This ought to do it, and it does. So the Angels come up with 2 in the ninth inning, but it's not enough, and the Dodgers hang on. And so for the first time in the month of June, the Dodgers have a starter to pick up a victory, and his name is not Billingsley. But it is a long shot when you think about it. It is Jeff Weaver who beat his brother Jared. And again, 12 of the 21 matchups of brothers, the older brother has been the winner. With 3 home runs hit in tonight's game, a total of $54,000 raised for prostate cancer research. Remember to make a donation. You can call 800-798-CURE or go online to www.pcf.org. So the Dodgers with 6 runs and 12 hits using Jeff Weaver, Ronald Belisario, Ramon Troncoso, and Jonathan Broxton. Broxton, by the way, made 20 pitches. The Angels with Jared Weaver, Jepson, Thompson, and Rodriguez. Jeff is the winner, so he is 4-1. He is 6-8 lifetime against his old club. And it balances a loss that he had 2 years ago going against the Angels. For Jared Weaver, first time he's lost here in Anaheim this year. He's 5-1 at home. He is 7-3 with the league. Once again, the final score, Dodgers 6, Angels 4. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live, and it starts right now. Good night, everybody.